for this section, they're either going to tell you to find one thing of a triangle or to solve the triangle. If they tell you to solve the triangle, then they want you to find all the parts, basically. Okay? So on that triangle on the board, they might just give you a list of things. Like here, they don't really give you a picture for each one. They just give you that B equals this, A equals that, C equals that, whatever. So on a right triangle, we will always name the right angle big C. And the other two angles, I don't care where you put them, but it would be big A and big B. Okay? Little a would go opposite across from big A. That's the side opposite big A. Little b is the side opposite big B, and little c is the side opposite big C. So let's say they tell me to solve the triangle, and they tell me that big B equals 54 degrees, and little c equals 10. And they want me to find the rest. What I like to do is I like to put big A, big B, big C, little a, little b, little c. Here they're asking you to solve the triangle. You need to find all the missing parts. So we know big B is 54 degrees, right? And we know little c is 10. You put them where they go. What else do we know in that picture? We know big C equals 90 because he's the right angle. So big A is 36 because they have to add up to 180. So we know if they give you one angle, you can find the rest, okay? Okay, so I always deal with the guy they gave me. I always deal with the two things they gave me in the problem. And the reason I do that is because if I said 46 for big A instead of 36 and I use that angle, I'm going to get the wrong answer, okay? So I want to find little a and little b. Let's find little a first. Little a is the adjacent side to 54 degrees. You understand that? So I have the I need the adjacent. And I have the hypotenuse. Does everybody understand that little c is the hypotenuse because it's opposite the 90? Mm-hmm. Got it? So when I look up here, which one has an A and an H on it? Which?
Oh, A and H, so
Cah, right? So that means cosine of 54, the angle always goes next to the cosine, sine, or tangent, equals A over the hypotenuse, which we know is 10.
Wait, so you wrote...
So now we cross multiply. We have 10 cosine of 54 equals A. And you put the 10 in the front so it doesn't get confused in the 54. I have big A, big B, big C, little a and little c. We just need little b. There are two ways to get little b. I have two sides of a right triangle and I need the third side. You could do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that's going to be 5.88 squared plus b squared equals 10 squared, which is 100. And then we subtract 100 minus 5.88 squared. So 100 minus that. And we square root it. And we get 8.09 approximately. So I'm going to draw my triangle. And we know that the C goes here, big C, big A here, big B here. I always draw the same triangle so I don't get confused. Little a is down here, and that's equal to 6. And little b is over here, and that's equal to 4. Okay? And we need to find the rest of the triangle. So let's find we can find a side. How do I find little c? What do I use to find little c? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we have 4 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. 16 plus 36 equals c squared. 52, I believe, equals c squared. And c is the square root of 52, which is 7 point something. 7.21. So we can find A or B. Let's find A. It doesn't matter which one you find, but you got to do it the right way. So I always mark A if I'm looking for A, right? And I have that the opposite is 6 and the adjacent is 4. Remember, I'm not using my 7.21 in case I screwed up and made a mistake. Use the 2 they gave you. So which has an O and an A on it?
Toa.
Toa. So tangent of A equals opposite over adjacent. Now, when you are looking for the angle, what button do you push on your calculator?
Angle?
When you're looking for the angle,
Mode.
you hit the
Second.
second button. So hit second tangent of 6 divided by 4. And then you're going to round to 2 places. So 56.31.
Could you repeat that again?
When you're looking for an angle, you have to use second tan of 6 over 4. And that means who has a tangent of 6 over 4? 56 degrees does. 56.31 degrees does. The third angle, you would just subtract that from 90. So it's
33.69.
very good. 33.69 degrees. So now you've got all of your missing pieces. You've got big A is 56.31 degrees. Big B is 33.69. And little c is 7.21. You have solved the triangle. When they talk about angle of depression, they're talking about the angle that the horizon makes with the triangle. So that would be your angle of depression. Okay? When they talk about angle of elevation, they're talking about the angle on the floor. That's not the right angle. The angle on the floor, that's not the right angle. But there's something interesting about these two angles. I don't know if you remember when you did geometry, these two lines, the horizon and the ground, are parallel. Got it?
I get the same.
They're parallel, so this angle here is the alternate interior, and they are equal to each other. So if they talk about angle of depression or angle of elevation, it's always this guy on the floor. They're giving you the guy on the floor.